Hey y'all, Bill the How-To Guy here. Feel free to subscribe at youtube.com/Bill the How-To Guy because Bill will show you how to. Hey y'all, Bill the How-To Guy here, and just want to talk about how to sell on Craigslist. Now if you're not familiar with Craigslist, Craigslist is like a classified ad system, except it's free. And from personal experience, I found on Craigslist that I get feedback and sell items more quickly than if I paid a local newspaper or put an item on eBay. And the good thing about Craigslist is that it's, like I said, it's free. So you can post your item on there with a picture. But there are a few things you need to be aware of. And this is just my personal advice. I've sold quite a bit of items on Craigslist. The first thing I would always recommend doing is when you post that item, make sure that you specify within the description that you will deal with local buyers only, and that you will meet local buyers only, and specify the cities, in a public location only. You don't want people you don't know coming to your house. So, and you also accept cash only if they decide they want to buy the item. And what that's going to do, that's going to better help with eliminating a lot of spam. There's a lot of, unfortunately, there's a lot of fraud, attempted fraud on Craigslist. People overseas and other places trying to say, well, you know, I'll mail you, or I'll, what do they call it, wire transfer or whatever. You're going to get all kinds of spam stuff. But you will likely get some local buyers, and they're likely going to say, hey, that sounds good, I'll meet you at so-and-so supermarket in the parking lot at such and such date and time. And once they give you a phone number and you recognize it's a local phone number, usually what I'll do out of good practice being a salesperson, I'll call them just for that acknowledgement that they are indeed local. Now keep in mind, just because someone has a local phone number doesn't mean it's not a scam, because they could be using a service such as Google Voice, and they could have created a phone number within that area code just for the purpose of attempting to scam people on Craigslist. So to better protect yourself, not just from getting ripped off, but also your safety, when you're selling on Craigslist, always meet in a public location. And always accept cash only, because you get a check, you know, that thing could bounce and you've lost your potential profiting from that item. So in a public place is important, because you never know who you're going to get. I mean, you could get there could be somebody on there prowling for people and just going through ads on Craigslist, finding people to sell stuff because they know someone selling wants to sell, therefore they'll be willing to meet them somewhere. So keep that in mind. And also, when I sell on Craigslist, I don't meet at a location, at a public location close to my house. Usually what I'll do is I'll pick a place in a mile or a few miles away, and I'll meet there. And I always like to ask, okay, what will you be wearing, or what kind of vehicle you be in, and then that way when I pull up, I can see if that vehicle's already there. And I always try to arrive just a minute or so late to give them a chance to get there. Now the reason with that is that if they weren't legit and they were just looking for your vehicle description, see, I don't want to give up my vehicle description. I want to have that interaction with them after I know they're a buyer, not trying to scam me. Because what could happen, and I'm not trying to freak people out, but what could happen is you could say, oh, I'm going to be in a red BMW. And you could show up, and they could be there hiding, and then they could be looking for that car and stand you up, never show up on to buy your item, but instead follow you back to your house. Not saying that would happen, but just be paranoid with this sort of stuff. I mean, that stuff could happen. So I always ask for their vehicle description, because I want to identify them. I don't necessarily want them to identify me. As always, when you're dealing with any sort of transaction, exercise caution, not just for your safety, but to better prevent yourself from getting ripped off as well. But Craigslist is great. I've sold probably 20 or so items at least successfully on there. And I have had to deal with a lot of scammers, but I just tell them, because they'll come and pressure you and say, well, you know, I'm not local, but I want this. I just say no. It says it in the description. I deal locals only, cash only, public place, locally only. So I hope this helps. Feel free to share this video with others. And most importantly, please subscribe. And my channel is youtube.com/Bill the How To Guy. Y'all have a good day.